Have you ever wondered what it would be like to wake up one day and lose the one thing that defines you? The thing that gives your life meaning? One moment, it's everything. Then, in an instant, it's gone. This is the story of Ethan Cole, a pianist whose entire world was built on music. Until silence took over. But silence wasn't the end of his story. It was just the beginning. And the most incredible part, just when he thought his story was over, when he believed silence had won, he found a way to listen without hearing at all. Keep watching, because what happens next will inspire you in ways you never expected. Ethan Cole had spent his life chasing perfection, his fingers gliding over the piano keys, filling concert halls with music that made the world stop and listen. But then, one crash, one twist of fate, and everything went silent. No music, no applause, just an emptiness so deep it felt unbearable. The doctors didn't need to say it. The ringing in his ears told him everything. The world had gone quiet. No music, no voices, not even the sound of his own breath, just an endless, crushing silence. At first, he refused to accept it. He pressed the keys, played harder, hoping, begging for sound. But silence doesn't bend. It doesn't break. It just lingers, until it's all that's left. Days blurred into weeks, calls went unanswered, messages left unread. He stopped leaving his apartment, stopped trying. The only thing louder than the silence was the weight of his own thoughts. The world moved on. But Ethan, he was stuck, trapped in a soundless prison, drowning in silence. Then one day something changed. He didn't hear it, he felt it. Raindrops tapping against the window, steady, rhythmic, each one a faint vibration in the stillness. And for the first time in months, silence wasn't empty, it was alive. He thought of Beethoven, the composer who didn't just hear music, but felt it. He placed his hands on the piano, sensing the vibrations, letting the sound move through him in ways no one else could. And in that moment, Ethan realized, maybe he hadn't lost music after all. Maybe he had just been listening the wrong way. For weeks, Ethan sat at his piano, searching for something, anything, that could bring the music back. He had spent his life listening with his ears. But what if he could listen in a different way? It wasn't just about sound anymore, it was about feeling. The way each note vibrated through the keys, pressing into his fingers, traveling through his body. At first, it was faint, barely there. But then, note by note, it grew stronger. The music had never left. He just had to learn to hear it differently. 1 year later, he returned to the stage, to prove that music was never just about sound. As he sat at the piano, the audience held their breath, unsure of what they were about to witness. Then his fingers began to move, gliding over the keys, guided by something deeper. Every note wasn't just played, it was felt. The rhythm, the vibrations, the emotion, each movement spoke louder than words. And as the audience sat in stillness, they realized this wasn't just a performance. This was music in its purest form. As the last note faded, Ethan lifted his hands from the piano. The audience sat in stunned silence, not because they couldn't hear, but because they could feel. In that moment, they understood. Music was never just about sound. It was about connection, emotion, and something far deeper than words. Silence is not emptiness. It is a different kind of language, a different way of listening. And sometimes, when the noise fades away, that's when we finally hear what truly matters. We chase noise for answers, but true strength is found in silence. So take a moment. Listen, not just with your ears, but with your heart. You might be surprised at what you discover. I hope you enjoyed this story, and don't forget to like, subscribe the Imaginarium.